All facts aside, my instinct was, this is wrong. If it feels off, it blimmin' is. Haven't all the F-boys taught you this already? Come on, my darling. I'm so excited to film. Haha, I click so much and clap, don't I? And flick my hair around. Let's try not to do that in this video, shall we? Should we count how many times I do it? I'm gonna have a sip of this. This video is for those of you who have a connection with animals and your spiritual side. Basically, without sounding too woo-woo, or whatever it is, you believe in the power of your instinct, your inner knowing. More importantly, actually, this video is for those of you who are understanding and open-minded. This is why I went vegan. If you are completely opposed to going vegan, this video isn't for you. I'm not going to bombard you with facts or try to persuade you. Ultimately, going vegan is a decision that only you can make. I'm not here to try with all my might to persuade the anti-vegans. I was pesky for a year until I went vegan overnight in 2020. I know it's not for everyone to go overnight, but I'm a kind of all or nothing kind of gal. I know some people do it gradually, but yeah, that's kind of how it happened for me. Just so you know, I've only really known about veganism for a couple of years, maybe a little bit longer than a couple of years, but when I went to uni, I think that's when my mind was kind of opened, because for the majority of my life, I lived in a rural town in England, in the countryside, where, you know, it's very conservative. You could say that in a lot of respects I did have a small town mentality. For a long time I was under the impression that everything was hunky-dory. The only problems were boys. Obviously that's another thing now. Go and check out my coming out video. God, it's so crazy that that's up now. It's just so nice, like I feel great. But anyway, basically I rambled a little bit, but what I was trying to say is I've only known about veganism since the age of like 18 or 19. Luckily I left my small town in the Cotswolds and went to uni in the north and got a bit of a reality check and quickly found out about veganism. Honestly, I genuinely feel like something inside me like woke up when I heard about veganism. I heard that people were abstaining from eating any products derived from animals. Yeah, something clicked. I was like, okay, I'm not opposed to that, even though my whole life I was you know, a meat eater and then I was pesky for a year. I kind of was like, okay, well, in comparison to a lot of people, I'm pretty chill, pretty down with this, because a lot of my friends and close ones to me were like, oh, vegans, and like, vegans get a lot of stick, particularly when I was younger. I don't know if it's because now I am quite a vocal vegan, so the people around me don't really talk nasty about it, but it was certainly worse when I was a little bit younger, and by little bit I only mean like 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, something inside me woke up, this kind of little opinionated person. I kind of knew deep down that the notion of eating animals was wrong, and I think a lot of us do actually. It's just a lot of us choose to just kind of ignore that and be like, okay, well, everyone else is doing it, so we play the comparison game and we think, oh, if everyone else is doing it then it's okay. Which is interesting, and I know I've done that for a lot of other things, but just because everyone else is doing it, I don't think this is okay. I think I knew one day I would be vegan. Maybe it's a little bit like me like sticking up for gay people and the LGBTQIA+ community so like strongly. I think I knew I was going to join that community. Anyway, sorry, you don't care. So yeah, for a period I was pesky, which for those of you who don't know, I just didn't eat meat. I ate dairy and fish. At this point I was kind of unaware of how brutal the dairy industry is. By unaware I mean I never really saw the reality. I never really saw what went on. I never saw any videos or images of the kind of living conditions, and I didn't really see in detail what was going on behind closed doors. But I think I kind of knew. I kind of had an inkling, you know, if it was so hunky-dory and good. Sorry, I keep saying hunky-dory, I never really say that. Weird. You know, if it was so great, I think we'd see more of it. If you live in the countryside or you live near where there are some cows, look out and see if you notice any cows with their children, with their calves, because it's rare to see that. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually seen that. Just look out for it and then look up what goes on in the dairy industry and you'll know why. But yeah, I was kind of unaware, but I did have a suspicion which I chose to ignore, and I'm sad that I did that. I'm disappointed in myself, but it's a difficult one. It's crazy that I never thought to look into how products like eggs and milk are made, even though I consume them on a daily basis, particularly milk. I had so much milk, I was obsessed. And I don't mean just, you know, milking the cow. I mean a full detailed documentary on how that milk comes out. I had no idea because it's not out there. We're not encouraged to find out this information because it's horrible. It's not just squeeze, squeeze, drink, perfect. The cows are, you know, strolling the fields happy the rest of the time. No, it's dark. You know, we spend so much time learning about like diet and stuff at school, but we never ever learn about how the main foods that we eat come to our plate. You don't learn in detail. You take trips to the farm with school, but you never really know what's going on. If slaughterhouses were made of glass, we'd all be vegan. That's a quote from, I think, Linda McCarthy? Or maybe Leonardo da Vinci? You know, I think he was a vegetarian, Leonardo. How cool. Even all the way back then. But yeah, I just find it so bizarre that I knew so little about what I was putting inside my body. I am so, like, protective and proud, and I like to talk about my body, and particularly in a woman in a patriarchal society, yeah, it's an issue. It's a situation. Yeah, one massive strength about being vegan and female is I've got control. So much control. But yeah, I found myself sticking up for vegans even though I wasn't one, which is, you know, obviously a sign that I just should have gone vegan as soon as I started defending them. If you're non-vegan and watching this, if you watch to the end, I put a little message out there for you. I'm not a hater, but yeah, just watch the end and I'll let you know my thoughts. I kind of knew without fully knowing that something was wrong. I am disappointed in ignoring that inner knowing and not kind of listening sooner, but I've listened and now I'm in such a great place because of it. I just wish I was a bit more curious and that I wasn't as trusting in the world as I was when I was younger. I know that's lovely and all, but I mean, back then I wasn't even really aware that gender inequality was a thing. You know, that's how I really did live in my own little world in the countryside. I was just so unaware. I'm so glad I went to uni and opened my eyes. Women and animals in particular are my main kind of work, what I focus on. I just feel like everyone should have space to be themselves authentically and be happy and be listened to and not be judged. And I'm glad I've got that mentality now, because I didn't back then when I was younger and I was a bit naive. We have to kind of acquire this information and make the transition to going vegan on our own because society doesn't really give us the information. You kind of, yeah, have to seek it out yourself. Although that's increasingly becoming false because there's a lot of information out there. I don't know if that's because I follow loads of vegan accounts now. I don't know if I'm in my own little vegan world, but yeah, there is certainly so much more awareness about the movement and the cause, and yeah. This little voice inside me, this opinionated person I was talking about, just got louder and louder. I just think as humans we have this really amazing thing called a gut instinct, a kind of core reaction, a little person inside us telling us what our all amazing intelligent human bodies think about particular situations. And my body didn't like me consuming animal products of any kind at all. So eventually, that sounded like a burp, that wasn't one. But eventually I decided I was going to watch some documentaries to shed some light on what really goes on and kind of go from there, decide where my diet was going to go. I just wanted to find out the reality of animal agriculture. Then I would either remain pesky or go vegan based on kind of what I found out. At least that's what I was telling people. In my head, like, I could not tell you how much I was like, I'm doing this. I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go vegan. I knew, and I genuinely had not seen any like content about how animals are genuinely treated. I just kind of knew, I did. And I'm not saying that I'm like special, but I actually think a lot of us know deep down. So I did say, you know, I'm gonna do some research and then I'll see. But I think, yeah, I really did know that I was gonna make the change. So I kind of like refrained from doing the supermarket shop for the week. I ate 3 chocolate bars, like dairy chocolate bars, that evening because I said I was going to do the research the next day. I remember buying them with the intention of eating them all that night and going vegan the next day. Which now looking back, it's a bit gross that I did that. I didn't really need to do that. But I did. I ate 3 dairy chocolate bars, and then the next morning I woke up and I had a vegan breakfast. I hadn't done the research yet, but I had a vegan breakfast, and then I researched the egg industry. I think I watched 1 minute of one video about the egg industry and what they do to baby chicks, particularly male chicks. Yeah. Sorry, I have the video in my head. Sorry about that. Horrible. I read one small piece on dairy farming after I watched this video, even though the video I was like traumatised by, and I was like, okay, I cannot be contributing, I can't be funding this system. But yeah, I read one article about dairy farming, and I just decided there and then, sat in my uni kitchen, home alone. And about, I think it was like half an hour later, I told pretty much everyone that I was vegan. Yeah, it was just like that. I do, like, I go into things very like all guns blazing, full blast, volume all the way up. Honestly, I've never looked back. I don't know why I pulled that face. Yeah, I've never looked back. I promise you, I promise. I'm not just saying that. I haven't had a moment where I thought, I need to eat meat, maybe I should just go back, or fish. Genuinely, like, I've had moments where I've been like, oh, you know, I kind of miss this product because I haven't found the alternative yet. But I've never been like, shall I go back to eating fish or meat or dairy? Never. Oh, I feel like I'm always drinking from this cup when I film now. Yeah, we are one of the most intelligent species on the planet. Humankind once walked the earth barefoot, collecting firewood, creating artworks on cave walls. Now look where we are. iPhones, planes, apparently holidays in space soon. How crazy is that? Although I think I did read an article about how they'd sent 3 people up on vacation the other day. Crazy. But yeah, it goes to show that we're capable of so much, and we've changed and developed so much. You know, from drawing on cave walls as a form of entertainment to flying up to space. We've learnt so much as a species. It just goes to show that we can change and we can develop and we can improve, and we have so much to learn still. I realise that sounds like I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just trying to highlight that we are capable of so much, we are so intelligent, and we have changed so much. So really this small step to saving the animals and the planet and looking after ourselves and our health is really quite easy if you look at how we've changed and the differences from kind of the Stone Age. Yeah, they're just so dramatic. So you'd think that a change in our diet, as small as just eating plants instead of animals, wouldn't really be that much of a big deal. But yeah, as I said, I had my suspicions. I think we all do, because we are super intelligent as a species. We have our intuition, a kind of sixth sense for right and wrong, good and bad, healthy and unhealthy. A kind of knowing that comes from your very core, without conscious reasoning. Killing an animal, a creature that is living and feeling, is inhumane. If you have the option to eat something else, it's inhumane and it's wrong. It's more about pleasure than necessity now. I get it, in some areas of the world it's necessity, and I'm not arguing. I'm not preaching to them, I'm not speaking to them. I'm speaking to people who live in the developed world that have access to plant-based options. I think we just need to always question what we're doing and never kind of be like, it's okay because everyone else is doing it. Don't get swept up by comparing yourself to society and what other people are doing, because humans have made so many mistakes. We will throughout our lives make mistakes, but these mistakes don't make us bad people. It's our reluctancy to learn from them and kind of change and develop that makes us bad people, if we just decide to stay as is, even though we know we're causing harm to another. I get it, a lot of choices are a result of our upbringing and our environment and our parents and traditions and the country you're born in. If you do eat animal products, you're just doing what most human beings do when they are born into this earth. And sadly it's what I did for so long. So I'm not calling non-vegans bad people. I just think we need to make space to change and evolve and to evaluate our behaviour and the society that we live in. Going vegan is one amazing way that you can make a positive impact on the planet, for animals and for yourself. Think about the animals. If you're an animal lover and you say that a lot, why don't you just go and do some research, get to know what the animals that you love have to endure every day. Anyway, that's why I went vegan. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it didn't make you feel uncomfortable. If you're a non-vegan, it's not an attack. If anything, it's just me trying to share my kind of story, something a little bit different to just the facts, because I know a lot of people can get defensive and feel kind of ashamed. So I was trying to kind of tap into another kind of reasoning. I think we're all capable of kind of, well, not all, but a lot of people are capable of comprehending, I hope and think. But I hope you have a wonderful day, and think about what you eat. Really contemplate where it's come from and what it's doing for your body, and treat your body with the love and respect it deserves. Treat others how you want to be treated, and if you don't want to be exploited, then don't pay for products that exploit others, and like the animals. I'm just going to put it out there. I have many non-vegans in my life who I love and care for. I do not believe I'm inherently better than them. Although, I will say this. Going vegan is a very simple thing one can do to massively help several serious global issues. If you sit in silence and think about eating animals or products that require animals to sacrifice a lot, do you have the slightest inkling that something isn't right? That this is wrong? Food is everything. It is you. It creates the energy that allows you to be you. So I think it's really important we hold detailed discussions about this in a world where many people are dying of diabetes, cancer and Alzheimer's. We clearly have so much to learn and defeat. And increasingly we are learning that going vegan is a massive step in the right direction. Lots of love. Please subscribe, like, share and comment. Every Friday I've got a video like this that's quite chatty, where I talk about so many things. I like to empower females, LGBTQIA plus community. It's my family, because I'm bi. I love being able to say that out loud, it's just so great. And obviously I like talking about veganism. I also do a few fun bits about veganism. It's not just all ethics and stuff. I want to make light of the vegan lifestyle because it's so fun. And on Wednesdays I do meditations. For those of you who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, I'm going to be getting lots of content on TikTok for you to enjoy. So go and have a look. It's by Leslie Lulu, like my Instagram.